Hi, everyone. Thanks for choosing to spend a part of your day together as we talk all about marketing automation. I'm Val Riley, Head of Content Marketing at Insightly, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. All right, let's meet today's presenters. I've already introduced myself. It's my pleasure to serve as your host today. Please welcome Chip House. He's the CMO at Insightly. He's got more than 25 years of experience in B2B marketing focused on CRM and marketing technologies. Next up, we have Travis Northup. He's also from Insightly. He's our Senior Marketing Operations Manager, and he has built his career in B2B SaaS, and he's one of the most dedicated users of Insightly Marketing. In a little while, I'm going to introduce you to Nicole Roundsval and Dinah Rabella of Stellar Health, and they're going to be telling us all about the ways the Stellar Health team uses Insightly CRM and Insightly Marketing within their business. So we'll go from the theoretical to the practical. Let's take a look at today's agenda. We're going to start with the basics as to what marketing automation is and why businesses choose to invest in this technology. Then we're going to dive into that research report where we'll see where marketers are having success with marketing automation and even a few challenges. We're going to zero in on one of the items that emerged from the research. It's about making customer journeys. And our friend Travis was going to give us an example of building a journey. And then we're going to hear from that Stellar Health team. We had a poll open. I'd like to go ahead and reveal those results. All right, Chip, it looks like we've got folks maybe using a little bit of marketing automation, but not quite to its fullest extent.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. 41% saying I am using marketing automation, but not to its fullest extent. And 31% are not using it yet. So anyway, I think there's something in this presentation for everybody to enjoy based on those responses. So excited to dig in, Val. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Okay. Well, then take it away with this slide, please.
For sure. So, hey, thanks for everybody for joining today. So this one is interesting because I've actually been in SaaS since the 90s. So I actually saw a lot of this develop. But, marketing automation is really a collection of software tools that conduct marketing tasks hand-free without the need for a person to perform these repetitive tasks. So some marketing automation examples include sending emails, responding to email engagement, such as opens and clicks, or potentially the lack of an open, and taking actions on form completion, such as on a landing page. So some of the benefits of marketing automation are that these simple repetitive actions automated, customers' needs are more easily met, and marketers are freed up to do even more strategic work, such as optimizing their campaigns. So, much like the cell phone has evolved over the past 30 years, the technology of marketing automation has really been around on that same time period, but it became more accessible in the mid 2000s when cloud platforms became available at lower price points. So that's a good level set anyway, Val.
I think so. We might be the only folks on the call who recognize that phone on the left, but we're just going to go ahead and move past that.
I never actually had that phone, but yeah, I do remember that phone. So what are some examples? So here you're actually seeing an example of our Get a Demo page, which is built on Insightly. We drink all of our own champagne. We run all of our marketing on our own CRM, our own marketing automation platform. But a great example that a lot of marketers do is they will have an ebook and they'll do an advertisement for that ebook out on social media, for example, or via email. But in this case, we're going to talk about a LinkedIn ad for a piece of content that you could tag with a UTM link to track it. That could drive to a single offer landing page often with a call to action and often with a form. And that form can be configured to capture various information that you want to collect, such as name, email address, phone number, other information that you define. And then with our marketing automation, you can define a delivery email and have that automated either with a link to the content piece or potentially even to attach the content piece to it itself. And then, the last phase is the email nurture or the drip campaign, which is a series of follow-up emails delivered to that lead to kind of warm them up over time. And, that has been part of the magic of marketing automation over the past several years.
Yeah, I think Chip, this is just a solid example. You know, like you said, marketing automation is such a large collection of tools and it can do so many things. But just to say, hey, here's one thing it can do, I think this is a nice visual. But let's talk a little bit about this research report that Insightly commissioned along with our friends over at Ascend 2.
Yeah, so to talk more through the research that we're going to talk about here, we worked with an independent research company, as Val mentioned, Ascend2. They surveyed just this spring 198 B2B marketing professionals, and the breakdown, which you see there, is a good distribution of company sizes and roles, but generally a pretty strong crowd of influencers, so to speak, inside of organizations. So why do businesses use marketing automation? So we see from this slide that the types of goals marketers have differ from tactical, for example, more personalization, to strategic, such as optimizing their overall strategy. And marketing automation is a technology that touches on both of these types of goals, strategic and tactical. So think about your organization and how you can benefit from any of these goals. Incidentally, the people who completed this survey could choose more than one. I thought it was interesting that customer journeys placed low, Val. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the responses that were available, like you said, ranged from very strategic to very tactical. Even that last one kind of surprised me, that their primary goal for this year is just getting more of their team to use marketing automation. So I think this graph really speaks to the different stages that folks are in terms of choosing and implementing a marketing automation platform.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think all of these are super relevant, and it's good to know a lot of people are at the point where they're optimizing their strategy to just truly get better. So it kind of continues on a theme, I think, to the next slide, which is, how successful is your marketing automation inside of your organizations? And so respondents were asked to rate the success of their marketing automation in helping them achieve their marketing outcomes. And I think data is really important, especially if you're just getting started with marketing automation. 94% said yes to some extent, and only 29% say they are best in class. So the takeaway, I think, here is really truly just to get started in your marketing automation efforts. This should be really about progress and not perfection.
Yeah, I think that resonates in this next data point too, Chip.
Yeah, so they were also asked, what extent are their journeys automated? And I think it's a similar takeaway. So for these 198 professionals anyway, only 39% were mostly or fully automated, and 48% are partially automated. So again, the takeaway here is to get started. You can gain efficiency even if you're not fully automated, and start seeing some of the benefits of marketing automation. Like many things in marketing, it's about action and testing and optimizing over time, and marketing automation is no different.
Yeah, maybe Travis can weigh in on this one, because this is, his primary role with us. And, we're a larger marketing organization, but in a smaller marketing organization, you might expect that, maybe only portions are automated at any stage.
Yeah, I mean, we sell the tools to fully automate marketing automation, and I would probably still put us in mostly automated. So it's hard to achieve. It requires lots of work and vision for what you want to do with your customer journey. So it's good to see so many people are getting there, though. And I think, to Chip's point, even partial automation is better than doing everything manually. And you can see that with the 13 unfortunate percentage of respondents there.
Yeah, I think we're validating all those folks who maybe aren't feeling like they're up to snuff. We're all still works in progress. I guess maybe that's the message here.
No question. This one really surprised me. So given the economic environment when a lot of marketing budgets are being cut, I found this surprising. So overall budgets for marketing automation are trending upward for the respondents, according to 70% of B2B marketing professionals surveyed. Another 21% say that their marketing automation budget for the coming year will be basically staying the same. And just 1 in 10, about 9%, say that their budgets for marketing automation will be declining. So even in the current economic climate, investments in marketing automation are growing for the majority of companies. And I think it just really speaks to the efficiency and growth of marketing automation. And those are two qualities that a lot of companies actually need more of now. And I don't know, Travis, do you have any other takeaways to this slide?
I'm happy to see that people's budgets are increasing. That certainly is helpful for us. Yeah, I'm not particularly surprising in leaner years when people are looking for ways to do more with less. I think marketing automation is a good place to put your money.
Great. Well, let's see how the audience responded here. And I guess it's similar. So we have 41% that said their marketing automation budgets are increasing from what they were last year. 27% stayed the same, and 14% are decreasing. So I guess also here, more people are looking to invest in marketing automation and the benefits it provides, which I think is great.
To clarify, Chip, that was the marketing budget overall, not necessarily marketing automation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I think still an indicator, like you said.
Well, that's an especially good sign then. Building effective customer journeys is so important. And as part of the survey, they were asked, my marketing automation platform makes it easy to build customer journeys. And I'd like to dig into this a little bit more. Marketing automation platforms should facilitate the development of engaging customer journeys, but only 27% of B2B marketers surveyed strongly agree that their automation tool does this easily. And just over half, 53% of those surveyed somewhat agree to, and 1 in 5 B2B marketers who have marketing automation platforms that do not make it easy to build effective customer journeys. And to me, this is what you're looking for in a platform, and being able to build an intuitive customer journey that's easy to set up is really, really critical. And it's something I think that our platform does especially well. And so I'm excited to be able to bring Travis up here, who is an Insightly marketing application expert and does a lot of the journeys for us, and have him take us through a quick demo. Travis?
The interesting thing about that survey is, the two operative words to me are easy and effective. And maybe it does them easily, but they're not effective, or it does them effectively, but they're not easy. And in Insightly, we try to do both of those, which I'm just going to build a journey right now so that you can see exactly how easy this stuff is. First, you just go to the journeys tab here, which is very easy to find in Insightly Marketing. And we're going to create a journey. In this case, we're going to call this the Evergreen Onboarding Journey. And obviously, this is a test, so we're just going to label it test so I don't get confused with real journeys we've got running. Basically, the purpose of the journey that we're going to build is, imagine that we've got a bunch of new customers and we're trying to onboard them to using the product that we sell, in our case, Insightly Marketing. Here we're going to grab a list of recent customers. And when you build a journey, recipient lists can either be static or dynamic. Static means it's a list of people that never changes. Like, for example, if you have a list of people that you met at a trade show, that list would never change if it's specific to one trade show that already happened. But the other type of list is dynamic, which are based on filters, and the list changes automatically over time. In this case, it's recent customers. So I've built a dynamic list that just shows customers that bought our product in the last 30 days. And so as new customers come in, they get added to the list. And then as customers age and get past 30 days, they're removed from the list. And so with that, we're just going to go ahead and save the journey and then start building. And so this is the journey builder. It starts with the list, which we can click here and take a look at the list if we want to. And then this plus sign is how you actually start adding things. And so there's 3 types of steps you can add to a journey. The first one is an action, where you do something like send an email or add a tag. This is when you want the journey to do something for the purpose of automation, actually doing something that a human would normally have to do. Second, there are triggers. A trigger is when you wait for an event to occur, like an email click or an open. This is something where you want to make an automation happen after this step occurs. And then finally, there's a check, checking something like a prospect field value. And so this is a condition that creates a split in the journey based on a fact about that person, like if they are in a certain country or if they are of certain company size, and then you can split the journey. And so in this case, we are going to send emails to people who recently became customers. And so in this case, we want to send them an onboarding email. We've got a whole bunch here. I'm going to choose onboarding email once, and we're going to do it after a wait so that they don't become customers and then immediately get an email from us. So in this case, let's wait 2 days. I think that's fair. They can dip their toes in the water a little bit as a customer, and then we'll send them this email. And then going from then, we can do things like add checks to see, we want to make sure that they opened the email. Which email is it? Well, it's the one that we just said that we want to send them. So that would be this one. And we're going to wait a maximum of 3 days for them to read the email. And then as you can see here, it creates a split. And so let's say that, they didn't open the email. And so we want to send them a second one. We can go ahead and grab a second email here. And then there we go. We've got email 2, and let's do that after a wait of another 3 days, right? And so as you can see, now we're going in here and we're just sort of deciding, and then I can decide what happens if they do open the email, and what if they open it, but they don't click or they don't convert. And so you can continue to branch this thing out. And what's cool about journeys is you can also get the information as you're doing it. We have reporting tabs, which you can't see here because this isn't a live journey. It hasn't done anything yet, but once it does, it'll have stats populated. And you can also do things like click through and see the actual email. So I can see what I'm sending them. And this is a real email we use when we onboard new customers, and it tells them like, hey, here's some webinars you can attend. Here's a beginner's guide. If you're an admin, here's some best practices for using the tool. And it's just got a bunch of handy tips to get started. And so this is the sort of email that we would send to our customers. And as you get more in depth, you can eventually build something like this, which is a evergreen onboarding journey that I built earlier today. And we can zoom out here to just see how advanced and sophisticated it is. But this is a journey I made to send a series of emails to recent customers to show as an example today. And as you can see, it can get really complicated. And this is all stuff that I no longer have to do manually, which is pretty darn cool. And that's the power of journeys, is doing less, making sure that things happen at a particular point in the customer journey automatically to the right audience. And all of that is automated with our tool. And I was able to build this journey yesterday in about 20 minutes. And that from beginning to end, including designing the emails, building the list, and all that stuff. So that's just a snapshot of what you can do with our tool, which I obviously think is the best in the business. And I'm not at all biased, by the way. And so there you go. That's Insightly Marketing Journeys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Travis. Hopefully we crushed that data point about marketing email journeys being difficult, but let's talk to some real customers. We've talked a lot about marketing automation. We've looked at some data. You gave us a sneak peek, but we're going to hear about what it's like in the real world now. As I mentioned up top, we invited Nicole Roundsval and Dinah Rabiella from Stellar Health. If you haven't heard of Stellar Health, you probably should have. It's rated number 56 on the Forbes list of top startup employers, and it's on the New York Digital Health Top 100. So Stellar Health is a healthcare technology company focused on enabling success across the value-based healthcare continuum by bridging the incentive gap between providers and payers. Stellar uses both Insightly CRM and Insightly Marketing. And as I mentioned, we have Dinah. She's the Director of Growth Operations, and she's going to talk us through the CRM side. And we have Nicole, who is the marketing lead, and she focuses on all things marketing, including Insightly Marketing. So Dinah, Nicole, I'm going to pass it to you. Can you share a little bit about how you use Insightly CRM and Insightly Marketing together in your organization?
Yeah, of course. And then thank you again for having us here. We're really excited for all of this. But we actually do have a true sales and marketing integration. For instance, we get contact data from campaigns within Insightly Marketing, like form fills, asset downloads, webinars, kind of you name it. And then we push that contact data out to our sales within the CRM for follow-up as well. We have a SLA within our sales team that has, we give them within like a 72 hours to engage within those leads and contacts that we then get as well.
I want to add that marketing automation can be a pretty powerful tool when combined with the Insightly CRM. As Nicole described, our marketing and CRM integration allows our sales team to really gain those valuable insights into contact and prospect behavior and interest. So that leads them to more effective engagement with leads and contacts. For example, as Nicole described, if a contact has received an email through one of our campaigns and subsequently visits a landing page or fills out our website form fill, we receive that notification automatically and can view all of the emails that contact has interacted with. So this is a really great tool, I think, and really helps us be successful as we're targeting certain segments.
Great. You know, we talked, Travis showed us that excellent example of a customer journey, and you kind of alluded to how you're using customer journeys. Can you just maybe describe one in a little more detail, one that's currently in use at Stellar Health?
Yeah, so we actually have a larger campaign that we've been working on since Q4 of last year. It's meant to both base around brand awareness and then also generate interest to our specific audience, which within healthcare would be our health system leaders. Within that journey, before we even get to it, we kind of segment out who we're talking to within the audience, and then also really make targeted messages to who goes to these messages. So for one instance, we are trying to target like medical assistants for within the US, and we create a journey within that list that we upload to Insightly, build out a drip email campaign, and then kind of let it go as what Travis kind of showed. The break off of it isn't as intelligent as that, but kind of if someone doesn't answer an email, what do you do next? It's kind of you build it, and then you don't have to think about it on a Tuesday morning of like, oh shoot, I forgot to email my list there. It's kind of you build it, super easy, and then you press start and kind of let it go.
I like how you mentioned segmentation and emails, because obviously those are big, important ingredients here, right? You can't have a great customer journey if you don't have segmentation, so that you're talking to people and specifically personalizing messages and you're writing great emails to reach them. So I appreciate you bringing that up, because it is an important ingredient. It sounds like you have a few campaigns running and you pass those leads to sales. Can you provide us with an example of a campaign, like how you sourced the data and executed it across marketing and sales?
Yeah, so we source our data kind of on all fronts of incoming leads from our website, form fills, as well as other platforms such as like Zoom Info. But we also really house a lot of our data within Insightly. So all of our contacts that we have there. Within our campaigns, we then kind of segment out those contacts of like, okay, who do we really want to target? Who are the people that will really have this message resonate with, right? So then segmenting those out and then kind of pushing it forward onto a journey or campaign that we then launch.
Yeah, and we feel that segmentation, we have tested this a bit since we started using journeys, and we would just blanket email some of our contacts, but we find that segmentation really leads to more success rates. And again, that integration with the CRM is really key for us to be able to understand what the response is to the drip campaign. So it's been really successful recently as we've began to segment. And as Travis had described, you can either set a static list or a dynamic list. We mostly stick with static lists so that we can control who gets each campaign. But I can see sometime in the future, as we get even better at tagging our CRM records, our contact records, to have a dynamic approach to those lists.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that because like that research showed, some folks are just using some aspects of their marketing automation platform, and static versus dynamic lists is an area of growth for a lot of people. So thanks for sharing that. So, once those journeys are running, it's great, but getting them running, it can be a little bit daunting. Can you guys talk about your experience? I mean, Travis did it for us in just a few minutes there, but, it can be difficult to get started as the research showed.
Yeah, and for Stellar Health, we did need some help getting started. It was sort of daunting for us as well. We had a campaign that we wanted to launch, and we definitely leaned on our customer success team to really help us answer some questions as we were getting started. I think when you're dealing with campaigns and prospectively emailing some of your external contacts, you don't want to make a mistake there, right? You don't want to accidentally send out something and have to backtrack that. So we wanted to get it right and feel really confident about the execution of the journey. So we did have the support of our customer success team, and we tested it internally as well to make sure that it was running the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like we were jumping in the pool and starting to swim laps, right? Like we jumped in with our floaties, we had the instructor there helping us, and then we were able to then take those off. And now we're swimming 100-meter laps all the time.
I love the metaphor. You had shared with me in our pre-call some pretty great statistics. So before we wrap up, can you share some of the results you're getting like before and after?
Yeah, so a lot of our times, especially after segmenting our emails, we were getting just basic rates. We kind of set our KPIs around 20% open rates, 18% click rates based on like industry averages. But now we're seeing 30-40% open rates, 40-50% click rates. So it's gone up exponentially. And we might need to change our KPIs coming soon with all of our with our success on there.
Yeah, I would say the fact that we are outperforming industry standards is a really strong indication to us that our campaigns are resonating. And I think it's a couple of things, not just maybe just creating the journey, right? But thinking about that segmentation piece of it. And early, we had that poll of the success of marketing automation in achieving marketing outcomes. And I think there's a lot of parts to that, not just getting that automation piece right and like knowing how to do it, but also really tying that to the larger strategy is very important. And so with the reporting, which is also part of the marketing platform, so you not just get the ability to create a journey, but also to see how that performs, right? How many clicks, how many bounces, and compare that to other campaigns that you've run, we can continue to monitor and analyze our performance and really make some adjustments there.
That sounds great. So Chip is me and Travis's boss. So now I think he's going to be upping our KPIs after hearing this story. Chip, Travis, any thoughts?
I think, Dinah, your last point was a really good one because, with marketing automation, you could set it and forget it, right? If you wanted to, but most marketers shouldn't do that, right? So you have the tracking and the data inside of the platform to just optimize and get better. And the fact that you're increasing your KPIs is a great example of your content being great, your strategy being really, really on point, and it's only up from here. I think the other point that you made is just, journeys also are often working across the organization, right? So they're impacting sales, they're impacting customer success and teams as well. And so you're partnering with them and making them, perfectly on point and improving over time is really a huge opportunity. Nicole and Dinah, thanks again. That was stellar. I'll be the first to use the pun today. Anyway, so I think big takeaways for me are, number one, just get started. So really just even the best marketers and teams aren't using this technology to its full potential. And you can often just pick 2 to 3 features and get started. Maybe it's a landing page with a form and an auto response email and a small nurture campaign, which, as you saw from Travis, can be quite responsive. It's great to know that budgets are growing and more marketers are seeing the value here for optimization of their team's time, but also optimization of their KPIs, frankly. And really, journeys don't have to be difficult. With the right tool, they can be pretty intuitive to build, as you just saw Travis doing. So there we have it. Val, I think that we're seeing some questions come in, but anything else to talk about there?
Well, yeah, let's give some folks a couple of minutes to maybe use that Q&A panel. In the meantime, maybe you can give a short commercial for Insightly Marketing.
Yeah, happy to, of course. So Insightly Marketing is our marketing automation application, and it's designed to help you build more pipeline for sales by attracting, engaging, and help you drive high quality leads right to your sales team. Insightly Marketing is built on the same platform as Insightly CRM, meaning that it's much easier to align across the entire sales and marketing funnel. And like I said, our sales team depends heavily on all of the things that we do in marketing to automate that journey. Insightly Marketing is a robust marketing automation platform comparable to others in the market. You might be familiar with like Pardot or HubSpot and others as well. It includes everything your marketing team needs, including an intuitive journey builder that you just saw, which will help you reach the right audiences with the right message at the right time. It also features advanced features like A/B testing, multivariate testing for more complex testing that you might want to do, which we didn't cover, but it's, obviously pretty important for optimization of your marketing over time. And, Travis showed it really quickly there, but you can choose from great looking, easy to build email templates. It's, much of it is drag and drop. Landing pages work similarly, plus enterprise grade dashboards, which are really excellent. We use them all the time to help you track and report on performance. So I would summarize, your marketing teams appreciate the breadth of features that we have in Insightly Marketing, while sales teams enjoy seeing the information about the campaigns that marketing is running and the results that are coming in from those campaigns. We just had a number of updates to our marketing application. So if you are a current user of Insightly Marketing, you might be interested in this. But Travis, I'm going to go to you here. So what of these things here, what are you most excited about?
I am very excited for the top two items here, UTM management to track and optimize marketing campaigns and the redirect links feature. The first one for UTM management is really exciting because every marketer knows about UTMs and probably uses them. And now Insightly Marketing has a really great way of tracking that back to individual prospects. And it does so in the by creating a field history, a timeline basically of all the UTMs that a certain prospect touched, which is super useful if you're trying to look at attribution or find out which of your campaigns are successful and all that stuff. There's always been ways to do that inside Insightly Marketing, but now being able to use kind of the universal solution for this sort of stuff, UTMs, and have that work in product in a really just like easy to use and easily recognizable way is great. The second one for redirect links, probably less sexy than a UTM, but I really like it, which is we have a feature that is super underrated in Insightly Marketing. If you guys aren't using it, Nicole, you guys might want to, which is a feature that allows you to give somebody a link, and then in between the link, you capture their activity and you pull it into Insightly Marketing, and you can trigger finish actions off of it. And so imagine you send somebody an email, a marketing email, and they're already a customer and you're trying to upsell them something. You can use a redirect link. They click on the link, and without having to fill out a form, they get the thing they requested, and then you capture that request and send it to a sales rep. And so it allows you to just like reduce friction in your guys' sales process and not make people fill out forms and make the barrier of entry as low as possible. And it's really cool for automation, even if it's, not the coolest sounding feature. It's something that as a marketing automation nerd, I get really excited about. So definitely those first two.
And Travis, most people know what UTMs are, but you're one of the few people I know that actually knows specifically the words that are used there for UTM. Right. Can you give it to the audience?
Yeah, it's Urchin Tracking Module, and Urchin was a company that Google acquired who invented the UTM model, and they kept the name. And so it's one of those one of those acronyms that everybody says all the time, but nobody knows what it means, like URL. There's very handful of people in the world who know it. Yeah.
Thanks for that marketer geek trivia. I dig it. And Val, I know that you had a favorite here from the new features as well.
I did. It's the fourth one. And I mean, we're all being nerdy here, so I'll continue it. So, normally when you send an email, you think you press a send button and you want like all 10,000 of your messages to go out immediately. But if that message has an offer in it, or you don't want to overwhelm your customer support line or your customer service folks, you can now batch out those emails, and the interface is so sleek and it's so easy to do. So you can say, hey, instead of sending all 10,000 right now, send 1,000 an hour over the next 10 hours. So a simple feature, but really I think can help a lot of customers.
Yeah, I totally agree. And deliverability is super, super critical on being able to, batch the speed is great. So let's move on to our last slide here. And, I'm excited to announce this hot off the press as a special incentive program. So whether you're new to Insightly or already using Insightly CRM, we have an option for you to get a full year of Insightly marketing at 25% off. Essentially, you're paying for 9 months on a 12-month contract. So if you weren't convinced to do a demo, maybe that's that additional incentive will get you over the line. And so Val, let's go to questions.
Yeah, let's do it. So this one came in. The question is, how do you manage email spam filters that will open emails several times before they get to a real person? That might be a Travis question.
Yeah, so there are controls in place for this, and this is something I've had to deal with as well. You build a journey and you say, all right, if somebody opens the email, then take them to this step. And then you have to deal with the fact that Google has bots that opens your emails for you to check for viruses and that sort of thing. Some of that we have automated outside of the product. So if Google checks an email for spam or something like that using their crawlers, those happen instantaneously, and usually they open the email a bunch of times, and there's certain ways that we can identify that they're not real people and that we just don't count them. So there's that. But even if there are edge cases where for some reason emails are getting opened and you guys happen to know that they're not real people, there's controls you can put in place in your journey to ensure that it doesn't move on to the next step. The one that I like to use is I'll use the check of open an email, and then immediately after that, the check of clicked a specific link. Because typically crawlers will do one or the other. They'll either open the email and scan it, or they'll click it without opening it, which is kind of a weird thing, but they can do that. And so if you put both steps in your journey, one after another, you'll reduce the possibility of any bots getting through that do that. And so we've used that in the past to get rid of some of the bots, but it's less of a problem now. We added some features to our product not too long ago that allowed us to get rid of a lot of the bots automatically. So hopefully you're not seeing it, but if you are, there's tricks you can do to get those guys out of there.
Great. Here's another one that came in. Is there a way to import MailChimp templates into Insightly Marketing?
There is not. MailChimp is kind of a competitor to Insightly Marketing, so it kind of makes sense. But if you are using MailChimp and you would prefer to be using Insightly Marketing, I'm sure our teams would be happy to show you how to recreate everything you've done in MailChimp in our product. But yeah, MailChimp is a for those who don't know, an email tool. It's not a full marketing automation solution, but it does do emails quite well. And so some of our customers use MailChimp as a legacy solution, and many of them once upgrading to Insightly Marketing end up sunsetting their MailChimp's accounts. And so a lot of times that requires recreating, but for obvious reasons, they aren't super incentivized to work with us on getting their emails over to our platform, since we tend to take away a lot of their business once people grow out of MailChimp. So
yeah, I feel like this next question is kind of a segue from that one, but if I'm just doing email marketing and it's on an inexpensive platform, why should I move up to marketing automation? And I feel like you've kind of answered that a little bit, but maybe you and Chip can both weigh in.
Yeah, I guess my answer, if I'm being honest with you, is that if all you need is email, you probably shouldn't. Email tools are great, and they're cheaper than Insightly Marketing because they do a lot less. And for some companies, that's fine. I would say that probably eventually you're going to outgrow that system, as most do. And also maybe you should challenge yourself a little bit more to find some ways to improve on just doing email, because there's things like lead scoring and prospect scoring and automation and list segmentation and form handlers and all of that fancy stuff that maybe might be a little bit daunting. But it is definitely worth the squeeze to get into that stuff. And I would encourage you to do it. And that really the only way to take that next step is to kind of take a leap of faith and say, look, we want to step up our game. We want to be better at doing this stuff and then just jump in. And once you're in the Insightly marketing platform, it's really easy to learn that stuff. And, you know, obviously in small bites, you take what you can when you can. Yeah, if all you need is email, Insightly marketing is definitely not the solution for you. We do a lot more than that. And email we do quite well, but it's not all we do. And so we have plenty of MailChimp users who are not ready to go. They use us for CRM, but they're not quite ready to evolve to Insightly marketing. And that's totally fine. We'll be here when it's time for them to do that.
Can I just add that Stellar Health has gone through a lot of organizational growth through the past couple of years. And I believe we've been an Insightly CRM customer since maybe 2019 or 2020. I think tools make sense when you're a certain size, but as your organization grows, you want to reevaluate those tools. And for us, using that marketing side of the CRM was really made sense for us. And now we're finding a lot of value with it. So I would say, you know, if those tools are working for you at the present moment, but as your organization grows, you might want to evaluate if you're already using Insightly as a CRM, having that integration to the marketing automation platform.
We'll do this one more. And Dinah and Nicole can probably weigh in. The question is, do I need a person on the team dedicated to running the marketing automation platform? Like, is that a full-time role? And I think that also really depends on the size of your team.
Definitely. I can tell you that we certainly have users who don't have one dedicated person as an admin for a full-time role, but it's definitely better if you do. You can do more with it if you do. I was hired because we specifically needed an admin for the tool that we had just built, Insightly Marketing. We needed somebody to run it internally. And so when I first started, that was my full-time job. And now we have multiple people on the team who sort of jointly share that responsibility. But it is enough work to where you could certainly give somebody that full-time job, but it does not require it of you to get a lot of the tools. So it really just depends on how big your organization is, how ambitious you are about your marketing automation strategies, and how quickly you want to move. But yeah, it takes all kinds.
I just want to add that, you know, Nicole is our one-person marketing team, and I am actually a one-person growth operations team as well. And we partner together very well as far as the CRM and marketing side. I think it depends on the size and the scope of what you're using marketing automation for, or your CRM generally. We don't have a dedicated CRM administrator. I suppose I am de facto. So I don't think that you would need a dedicated person to run these campaigns unless the size and the scope of those campaigns are generally, you know, very large.
Great. Any closing thoughts from anyone as we wrap things up?
I just wanted to say, Nicole and Dinah, again, thanks so much for joining us. You have such a great story, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, Nicole, Dinah, Chip, Travis, our crack Q&A team behind the scenes. Thanks everyone for being a part of our webinar today, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Have a great day, everyone.